Travis Scott came out on ID Magazine and said that Utopia is coming out soon. I'm super hyped for it because we did do a video on this saying what would we expect, but we're going to have a different narrative here because we're going to talk about, will Travis Scott deliver another classic with his next album, Utopia? I think he will. He has a super strong discography. And guys, leave in the comments section, what's your favorite Travis Scott song and the one that, kind of got you into him as a fan? Because listen, we're always down for new Travis. His material is crazy, and I think he's going to drop a fantastic project.
Yeah, and what really, makes me excited about this new album is that he said that he's going to come back with an entirely new sound. And what I love about Travis, and he said this himself, that he views every album in his discography as a different saga. And you really hear that through the music just because every album does sound different. So in terms of him putting out another classic, I think as it stands right now, Rodeo is a classic. He has that one classic album in his discography. I think Birds, I'm not sure. It's kind of in a tough place.
I don't think so.
Really good project. I don't think it'll age as a classic. But Astroworld, the more I listen to that album, the more I think that it might end up being his best album. And I think that it's not a classic yet just because it's only been out for 3 years. But as time goes on, I think it will age as a classic just because of the way that he takes you through, a different ride in an amusement park throughout the whole thing, and it was just a beautiful journey.
Absolutely. But Astroworld, I think at this point could be considered a classic just because, it's still so prominent within the pop culture, and, it's still being bumped by everyone to this day.
I think every song on Astroworld has over 100 million streams.
But yeah, I mean, at that point, how are we not going to call it a classic? It was a monumental drop for the industry, and I remember because everyone was super, I would say hungry for new Travis material. It was like people were waiting for this because people understood where Astroworld was coming from, and that's what I think gave it its legendary status. And I think that's what's gonna happen with Utopia because he's really good at teasing these albums. People are super hungry for new music, man, and I think especially the new aesthetic maybe that he's trying to go for, I'm super with it. I love franchise. I find if he's gonna go with that sort of vibe, I'm there. I'm going to be listening. I also like, how on Astroworld there was a lot more rapping. There was a lot more introspectiveness. There was a lot more him diving deep into his mind. So I want to see maybe if he could do that again.
Yeah.
Also, different situation for Travis. I mean, last year in 2020, we know how crazy he went. He had a McDonald's collaboration. He had a PlayStation collaboration. His collaborations with Nike. He was just collecting so much money. And I think at this point, he's going to come at us maybe with a bit of a mogul vibe. And he's going to maybe give us a perspective that we've never seen before. So that could be cool as well.
Yeah, it definitely could be. And I just think that, at this point, people know to expect quality with Travis just because he's never put out anything mediocre. Everything's been amazing. A lot of people kind of question, his feature game, saying that it's not the strongest. I definitely think that he still does have some solid features. And not only that, but in terms of Utopia, I feel like he will maybe have, some different collaborators in there. And that's actually something that he said on the interview, is that he wants to work with artists that he's never collabed with before. We already know that he's working with Don Toliver and with producers such as Hit-Boy and Wondagurl because they were spotted with him in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And apparently he spent 3 months there in Mexico working on the album, and he feels like it was the perfect place for him to get inspiration and be, kind of in the right headspace to put out that music. So
I'm anxious.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm super anxious. There's so many different collaborators that have been rumored to be on this. I would love to see someone like James Blake get back on this project. I think whenever him and Travis link up, and we had spoken about this on one of our JID recordings where we said, he was hooking up with artists still, trying to make good music.
The Weeknd has to be there. He's been on every Travis album so far.
I think The Weeknd is going to be there as well, especially, the type of commercial success that they both possess. At this point, I mean, they could make another mega hit and it's going to go absolutely crazy. The question is that do we get another Drake feature?
Maybe. I mean,
think Drake gives another feature?
I don't think it'll happen just because I feel like the moment has to be right. I don't feel like they'll do it just to do it. If the music's there and they both find a beat that they can mesh well on, they'll do it, but I don't see it happening.
Sicko Mode went absolutely crazy though.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, do you think that they would be able to replicate that in any sort of way?
Maybe. I'm not interested in that though. I got the collaboration. I don't really need that. If there's someone that I want to see him, like I said, return to collaborate with, it would be The Weeknd. It would be Don Toliver. Young Thug would be nice. They're one of the best unofficial duos.
Absolutely. So, I would be down for another Young Thug collaboration.
Yeah,
even
man.
Kendrick on there maybe, if we know how hard Goosebumps went and how they could make classics together. But how about producers? You know, because what type of production would it take for this to even constitute it being a classic?
I don't know. And like Travis said himself, it's going to be a different sound. So will he go back to that, you know, OG Mike Dean sound with, you know, those crazy synthesizers and kind of the
guitar riffs as well?
Yeah, and that futuristic sound. I don't know. I really don't know. But I mean, in terms of people that he could hook up with, I don't know, man. Who do you see him hooking up with?
I think Roddy Ricch would be a fantastic link up, and they've been rumored to be linking up and making good music. Yeah, so I would be super down for that.
In terms of producers, though.
In terms of producers, Pierre Bourne.
That could be cool.
I want to see Pierre Bourne. I haven't seen Pierre Bourne.
I would say maybe even Pharrell.
Yeah,
I would see. I think if someone could make him craft a different sound, it would be Pharrell, just because Pharrell has tapped into so many different subgenres. So if there's someone that could do it and you know, help him create that new sound, it could be Pharrell. For sure.
I think Pharrell could definitely be a great fit. But do you think that maybe Travis is going to be producing all this album by himself?
Apparently he has gone back to, you know, doing his own beats, so that could be interesting, man.
I've seen his IG lives and it looks absolutely crazy. I mean, if we hear anything from there going onto the album, then that's going to be some serious heat. And I would be super interested in that, because we've heard other people touch Travis's production, but I feel as if he's at his definite best when, you know, he's doing his own shit.
Not only that, but like there's a different kind of, I think, connection with the music when you're producing it yourself. Like someone like Tyler, the Creator, who produces almost all of his stuff, there's really a good energy between the instrumental and the artist. So
because you have full control, you have full creative process, right? And like someone as creative as Travis Scott should definitely have the whole say, and, you know, have his whole fucking hand in the pie, and, you know, do whatever the fuck he wants, because again, it's Travis Scott, and like that's the type of energy I want from him as well, is like, you know, just do him. And I think that's why he puts out such great records, is because he's always coming out and he's really sticking to his creative process. And, you know, people might be calling his feature game mid, people might be calling his, you know, his recent drops mid or too mainstream, whatever it is. But there's one thing we could all agree on, is that it does not sound like anything that's being dropped at the moment in the industry, in the trap lane.
Yeah, and I just hope that he stays true to his word and actually does drop the album soon, hopefully before the summertime. So guys, let us know, do you think that this album is going to be another classic from Travis, and when do you think it's going to be coming out? Guys, subscribe to us, just because we're going to keep you guys, you know, kind of in the loop with everything Travis related and every other album that's coming up in this new year in terms of hip-hop. And if you want to listen to us, we're on Apple Music, on Spotify, all audio platforms, so, you know, stay tuned with us.
Do your thing, guys, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave here. We're connecting the world to hip-hop, and tell your friends about this. Literally, I say that every episode, but tell your friends about this. It's going to go absolutely crazy. You guys take it easy.